Hi everyone, welcome back to the Drive for Success YouTube channel, the number one go-to place on tips on how best to manage your 24 hours. Welcome to another week, and I hope your week has been productive so far. Today I'm going to talk to you once again about 5 more tips on how best to manage your 24 hours. After all, it's your 24 hours to manage. And as you make progress along your entrepreneurial journey, it becomes even more important that you utilize each hour putting through your piecemeal activities and tasks and pushing through to your entrepreneurial goals. Please do subscribe today. Press the red button on the right hand side. Do like, do comment. I would really love to engage with you. And, if there's any, sort of like topics of discussion that you would like us to focus upon, let's have that conversation. Anyway, we're good to go now. So tip number 1, it's very important, especially in these times, that you have a disciplined mind and you are determined to carry out your piecemeal tasks and activities. At the end of the day, you can have, to-do lists, which I've spoken about before. You can have your timers in place. You can have literally everything. You can have papers dotted all over the place, sticky notes dotted all over the place. But at the end of the day, a determined and a disciplined mind is very, very important. A disciplined mind will serve you very well in successfully achieving your piecemeal activities and tasks. Moving on, tip number 2, I want you to really think of treating your 24 hours, which is your time. Treat it as an investment. Because at the end of the day, what you manage effectively today, it will yield returns for the future, especially as you invest time in developing your business and making progress along your entrepreneurial journey. Your time is an investment and it will yield returns as the days go by. Now, in this climate that we are in right now, in the UK anyway, there's another lockdown looming, and it is causing some level of anxiety. And tip number 3, basically, I would advise you to maintain your stamina at all costs during these challenging times, of which we have to adapt day by day. Even today, I had to sort of phone my gym and ask them, are you open? Are you sharp? What's going on? And they basically said that I have to call back later just to find out. But for me, that's not the end of it. I have to look for an alternative. And my alternative is that maybe in the morning, I'll go for a quick walk before I start my work. And then in the evening, I'll go for a longer walk when I finish my work. So by maintaining your stamina through exercise, through walks, through relaxation, you will remain razor focused with zeal to carry on and pursue your entrepreneurial journey. What I would suggest is maybe team up with a friend, team up with a friend, team up with a family member, go for a walk, do a few jogs, do a few squats together, and it will keep you on point, and it will also make sure you remain focused. Okay, moving on to tip number 4. I just want to speak to you today about a mundane task, which is basically tasks that you don't really like, but you have to do them anyway. For example, if you need to call your bank, if you need to lodge a complaint, if you need to return some items that you've purchased and they basically sent you the wrong stuff, or even if you need to call the gym, I would suggest that you do it later in the day, because there's always a tendency, especially when you want to lodge a complaint of any nature, that it will sap a fair bit of your energy, and it is also time consuming as well. So what I would suggest is that these are the kind of mundane tasks that you should do later in the day. Personally, I wouldn't do them in the morning. I'll wait till sort of like maybe in the afternoon to do these. I had an experience recently of which I had to return an item, and the lady at the other end of the phone, she just didn't understand, where I was coming from. That led to a bit of frustration, wasting time. Oh, you have to write in, you have to do this. And, basically I thought, you know what? I won't be doing this in the morning ever. So what I would suggest to you folk is tackle mundane tasks later in the day. I would normally aim for post lunchtime. Please do click the red button on the right hand side, and we will now go into the final bonus tip for today. Please keep records of your day-to-day achievements and ask yourself if there are any activities or tasks that you have been avoiding purposely or unpurposely. Sometimes we sort of say, okay, this particular task, let me put it aside for now. But you really have to look at that, because it could be due to the fact that that very task is quite enormous. You find it somewhat intimidating, or you're overwhelmed by it, or it could be that you just don't have the know-how. So this is why it's very important to keep a record of what you're doing daily. Are there any tasks that you are purposely avoiding, or are there any tasks that at the moment you just don't want to tackle, but they do add up, to your overall short to medium term entrepreneurial goals? This is when you have to sit down and think, give it due consideration, and you may decide to seek support from somebody who has the know-how, a mentor, maybe a mentor. You may need a mentor, you may need some advice, you may need to go to somebody who has actually executed that kind of task before. Please do click the red button on the right hand side. Do comment. I really, really hope that you find these tips helpful. See you again next week. Take care. Stay safe. Bye for now.